Okay, what the heck? Okay, Arizona passes a law. Arizona law stating that that the police have the ability to stop anyone who appears to be an illegal immigrant and ask them to provide proof of citizenship. Now, why are people raising such a big stink about this? They claim it encourages racial profiling, ethnic profiling, national profiling, yada yada. Which, the last one, I don't know why I actually heard someone try to claim that, because that's kind of the point. The fact of the matter is, here's the deal. Illegal immigration is out of control. Frankly, in the entire country, but especially in the border states. They have had cases of illegal immigrants who are coming up there and actually adding millions, if not billions, to the total um, to the total amount that they have to spend on entitlements, because they are signing up and receiving entitlements without paying in on them. They have had cases of illegal immigrants that are coming in there and committing very violent crime and then leaving. There are cases of illegal immigrants who have come in and kidnapped people. They have actually recently broke into a hotel, drug off all the women. They're actually kidnapping young girls, young adults. They're kidnapping people. They're taking them across the border. They have sometimes not even asking for a ransom, so God only knows what happens. So there are people who have actually been murdered on their own property, most likely, but with every indication of the guilty party being illegal immigrants. In fact, there are cases of proven instances of that. There are drug lords who are now starting to run their businesses through these states. And the federal government sat back and did nothing for the longest time. And so, what happened? The state legislature decides enough is enough, and they pass a law saying that their police have the authority to check and make sure that anyone who is in this country and is, gives reason to believe that they are not a legal citizen, then they can ask them to prove citizenship. Now, proving citizenship is not hard. You can pull out a photo ID, which will show that you are a U.S. citizen. They run it. You're in the system. You're a citizen. You can show a social security card. They run it. It's in the system. You're a citizen. You can show a number of things to prove citizenship. Or even if you're not a citizen, but you are in the country legally, you can flash a green card. You can flash a passport. You can, show that you are in this country legally. Now, why is it that there are so many people against this? I mean, it is not unreasonable. It is simply checking to make certain you are a citizen. It is not saying that I got reason to think you're not a citizen, so I'm going to detain you until I find out. No, in fact, they are actually required to allow them to provide proof before any sort of detainment goes on. In other words, it's no different than when a driver gets pulled over and the policeman asks him, "Can I see your license and registration?" It's no different. They're making sure that you are a licensed driver and that this is your vehicle. It's, it's the exact same thing. But there are people who are saying that this is somehow unfair, including the President of the United States. Now, I want to ask, how is it unfair? How is it unfair, sir, to the legal immigrants in this country? Because guess what? Someone pulls them over. Can I see proof that you're a citizen? There you go, officer. Okay, you're free to go. How's that not fair? How is it fair then for anyone to get pulled over and asked to see their license, because there is a chance that they may be an unlicensed driver? How is that then unfair to the people who actually have a driver's license, Mr. President? Are you saying that every state needs to do away with this law? Because, that undermines the basic level of fairness, because, if you don't trust people, that's just, wrong. Now, I'm sorry, but when you get into a crisis level, it is... to say that you need to put blind trust in people is frankly naive and stupid. Now, this is, as I said a million times, not unreasonable. This is a perfectly reasonable law, perfectly legitimate. It's no different than what you have to do to get a driver's license. Nothing like that. However, There are people who are going so far as to not only say that this is racist and encourages racial profiling, but that it's akin to what the Nazis did. How is this remotely akin to what the Nazis did? This is not any sort of national identification system, so you can't claim fascism. This is just showing that you are a citizen. Alright, and there are many ways to show that you are a citizen. You know, it's not unreasonable, for crying out loud. And yet, and it is clearly, definitely, in no way, shape, or form, rounding up illegal Mexicans or Cubans or Central Americans and tossing them into a freaking camp or oven. A deportation camp, perhaps, and then they're deported. They're not killed afterwards, and they're not kept there until they die. And it's not even all of them. And it applies not only to one ethnicity, but to all ethnicities. You could be British, and if you're here illegally, they'll round you up and deport you. I mean, this is ridiculous. And what's more is that this is coming from a Catholic cardinal, who is basically saying that this is no different than what the Nazis did. Now, I find this a little interesting bit of hypocrisy, which the media, of course, has jumped all over and broadcast all over, particularly interesting because, number one, I was under the impression that the Catholics were somehow in no way, shape, or form in any sort of position to be making any kind of moral claim, according to the media. I'm not going to say I believe that, but I'm going to say that is what the media has been trying to shove down our throats for quite a while now. But now, not only are they doing a 180 on that, but this whole, disgusting accusations of people being a Nazi, now they're perfectly willing to let them fly the other way and not call them out on that. Why? Because it's being aimed at the other side. So we have another clear-cut case of liberal media hypocrisy. Now, the bottom line here, people, is that Arizona is doing what it has to do to protect its state, and they're only doing it because the federal government did nothing. And on top of that, not only did the federal government do nothing, but there are actually people in the federal government who want to say, you know what, forget it, anyone who's in here can stay. That they cannot afford. That they cannot handle. And because of this, they're doing their job. They're doing the government's job for them. Now, some people are going to try to say that this is not within their authority to do so, and this is something that's going to have to be argued in the court of law. It most definitely is going to go to court. You know, no one's naive enough not to think that there aren't going to be people who are going to try to challenge it. However, what I'm talking about here are people who are saying that this is clear, blatant racism when, in fact, it is not. It is simply the state of Arizona trying to make certain that their state is safe and that the people who actually came into their state legally are able to enjoy the benefits that they are entitled to, not someone who snuck in through the back door. It's not unreasonable, and in fact, it is actually very, very much upholding the standard of fairness that our country is supposed to be known for, Mr. President. Very much so.